When I actually think about it, I feel like 27 is such an odd number just because it's like middle of 20, but like close to 30. And it's kind of a weird thing to think about. And even for me, it's just something that's been on my mind for quite some time. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys might be asking, why am I bringing up this specific number? Well, just a little bit about me, a little bit of a disclosure. Today, January 17th, I believe I'm uploading this video at the same day, is my birthday. And I'm turning 27, which for me is very surreal. Like, I honestly don't even know what to think about that year. Just because, like I mentioned, it's like a couple of more years away from entering a new decade, which is 30. Even though it's like 18 and 21 are the big milestones, I feel like 30 is a pretty big milestone too, because it's like you don't know if you should be considered like a young adult, middle adult, or if you're supposed to be like a growing up. Because it's really weird, because even like with the stuff that you see me do, it's like me and my friends playing video games almost all the time with like, Fortnite, Fall Guys, Multiverse, Call of Duty, and it's something that like 30-year-olds shouldn't or people that are like my age shouldn't be doing. They should be like focusing on their own things, um, which is like really, really interesting perspective. But I just enjoy, video games. That's kind of like my healthy coping skill to actually just like decompress after like a long day of work and everything like that. And even like doing these type of videos where I'm able to just ramble all the time for all of you guys. It's a pretty therapeutic thing for me. And then the reason why I'm making this kind of video is because of the fact that I'm looking back at my life as I'm getting close to like a new decade of being 30, and I'm kind of like reminiscing on everything that I've actually been able to do at such a young age. And I feel like a lot of my accomplishments were kind of more education based than anything, just because I was, in education for so long. Graduated high school, I think it was like 2016 with honors. Went straight into my bachelor's degree. I graduated from my bachelor's degree in 2020, like during the pandemic. So, at that year, I actually graduated, got my bachelor's, and I think I graduated some cum laude. So it's like honors, but not like the toppest honors. And then during like even the pandemic days, like I actually got an interview for a master's program or a graduate degree. And I was able to, turn in my application, do the interview, pass the interview, and begin my master's program in 2020. And then a couple years later, I was actually able to complete my degree in 2022, which I believe I actually did like a video of it when I actually mentioned that I finished that degree. So that was a really interesting time. So you guys could see, like, basically up to 2022, I was just basically from the day I was born, once I started school, and straight up to 2022, I was kind of just heavily focused in education. Gave myself a couple of months break because my field needed time to actually like submit my documents and get some form of identification to begin working. So that gave me like 2 or 3 months of like a small vacation before I started working. And then once I started working in 22, like I think it was like late 2022 is when I started working. Like it was just, pedal to the metal in regards to all the stuff that I'm actually doing. So yeah, it's really interesting to see that, at such a young age, and even for me in my profession, like I don't necessarily see that many people my age doing what I do. For a lot of you guys who don't know what I do, and I don't even know if this is a detriment to me in my career, but I am like more of like a professional. I work as an MFT or an AMFT, which is Associate Marriage and Family Therapist. And during the time in my grad school, it was like a lot of, classmates who graduated who are working that are my age. But when I look at the field had a lot of like more like older people with a lot more experience than I did. I was like a newcomer to the field. And for someone in their 20s compared to other people in my work that are like in their high 30s or even low 40s, like that's a pretty big age gap in regards to like the stuff that we're doing. And I know a lot of people mentioned that I've been able to really connect with some of my clients just because of my age. I am kind of closer to them as opposed to the other individuals I work with. So it's really interesting to be like my age and getting to where I am at. And I know goal wise, I had mentioned, I think like in the beginning of the year video, that one of my goals is to become a licensed marriage and family therapist, which is interesting because I already completed my hours to, basically meet the requirements for it, right? I think when I'm thinking about it, I believe it's 3,000 hours that we needed, and I'm well past 3,000 hours. So I basically just have to grab an application, submit a buttload of money, because as much as I love the Board of Behavioral Sciences, they do tend to charge a lot of money for these type of exams. So, I have to submit an application, send in money, have them review all of my stuff, and then from there they kind of figure out if I'm missing hours, missing any like requirements, and then if I'm not missing anything, I could basically take the test. But that test is something I do need to study for, just because I heard the test is like a 4 hour long test, and I definitely don't want to retake a 4 hour long test. And from there, at that point on, I basically get my license, right? And that's basically like the biggest goal I have. But that's the interesting thing, right? Like when I think about all the things I've done leading up to 27 right now, I feel like I kind of hit more so like a plateau in regards to like goals I actually want to achieve for these upcoming years. I know in my mind I always wanted to like have my own sports car. Like I'm really into Camaros just because of like the muscle car build of it. Didn't know that Camaros were completely out of manufacture by 2025, so this year. So a lot of the Camaros out there are used, and even when I went to like the dealership, they were showing me Corvettes, which were pretty cool. But I'm like, Corvettes are pretty pricey, but maybe it'd be pretty interesting to see someone my age, 26, 27, working hard within my field, getting a car like that. But like apart from just either transportation, owning my own apartment or house, like at the end of the day, like I feel like I really have plateaued. And it's not like a midlife crisis per se, just because I kind of know what I need to do or know what I should be doing. It's just the fact that I feel like apart from aiming to get my license, I feel like I don't necessarily really know what I want to do or what should I be achieving for. And I don't necessarily know if that's something that a lot of people go through as they're getting close to like the new decade of, being either 27 or getting to 30. So I kind of just wanted to use it as like a standing point for myself to kind of see within these upcoming years before I turn 30 to see if I make any form of change. And I know this is like more so for like a lot of people who might be kind of either, I don't want to say struggling, but even having that mentality of like, what should I be doing next? Because at the end of the day, I feel like there's a lot of people out there who really do have those complications or like those difficulties in regards to seeing what their goals are and what they want to achieve as they're actually progressing. Whether it's like, I know for a lot of people, it's fitness, right? Or wanting to get like a higher paying job, wanting to, do content creation and be as popular or as big as they could possibly be. At the end of the day, it's like I feel like for me personally, I've never really got to a point like this, because especially being in school, my biggest thing in school was like, let me get my, high school diploma, let me get that bachelor's degree, let me get that master's degree, let me get that form of employment. So it was always like back to back goals that I was finishing really, really quickly. That's really gotten me to a point where I'm like, what should be next for me? And that's going to be like the interesting thing that I want to be looking out for, as well as having this as a baseline, because at least I'm able to look back at this video and be like, at 27, this is how I was feeling, not really having a personal connection or personal relationship or growing in this type of area, but something that I could learn from, which is interesting because you feel like as a therapist, you should really have everything kind of set out for you like you do with your clients. And I should basically be practicing what I'm preaching. A lot of them say that that works, and for me, I feel like that's something that I should be doing is like looking at my year and these upcoming years and seeing what I should be doing. Because, like I mentioned, once I get to licensure, I really don't know what's going to be next for me. Because I know at that point I could either like continue what I'm doing, get my private practice, become a supervisor, and that's like a journey in and of itself. So it'd be interesting to see if I have any other goals to do with my field. But for all of you guys who are like in the same area, like what do you guys either feel or do to kind of keep yourselves, I guess you could say, either motivated or more engaged with what you should be doing? I feel like it'd be interesting for me to kind of hear from all of you guys because, like I'm mentioning, for me as a 27-year-old, I feel like I've accomplished a lot, like academic wise, and even like on my bucket list. I was able to go to like a lot of my favorite artist concerts. Bullet for My Valentine. I was able to go to, that was one of my favorite bands. I was able to go to a concert and even meet them with a meet and greet. Controversial, I know, but I was able to go see Falling in Reverse twice. I was able to see Avenged Sevenfold. I was able to see my all-time favorite band at the moment, Bring Me the Horizon, twice already. I'm a big wrestling fan, right? I've been able to go to a Monday Night Raw, a Friday Night SmackDown. Better yet, I'm actually going to a Friday Night SmackDown today in San Diego, which is pretty exciting. And then I was able to go to WrestleMania when I was here in California, and I'm planning on going to WrestleMania again when it comes to Vegas this year. So it's like I have a lot of events to look forward to, but then I feel like I plateau because I don't know what I'll be doing for like the rest of the year because WrestleMania is the biggest event for me, but that happens in April. So I really have like May up to like December and so on and so forth to like continuously be growing. I know I'm rambling a lot, and that's what I usually tend to do for these videos, but it's just so interesting, and hopefully I could look back at this specific video and be like, man, 27-year-old me really didn't know what he wanted, but now that I'm like 30, 35, or probably even older, looking back, I could probably cringe and be like, it's not that hard, just do what you gotta do and move forward. But yeah, just wanted to make this quick little, like, I guess, birthday video to kind of share my thoughts, because I actually had these thoughts like really early into my birthday today, and I'm like, I should really talk about this and see if anybody else also has any like thoughts and opinions about where they're at within their stages of change or the stages in their life. But hopefully you guys enjoy this quick little ramble. I really like doing these rambles just because it really gives me like an outlet to just speak my mind as opposed to like just writing it down or posting about it somewhere like text wise. So I do appreciate all of you guys who really kind of just sit down and listen to this, and hopefully you guys could provide me with some pretty good feedback or even like life stories as to what you guys are going through. But apart from that, that's all I really have to say. Hopefully the next one's a bit more cheerful, because I know Call of Duty wise, I am midway through Prestige 8. Like I think I'm Prestige 8, like level 35. So I'm grinding a lot when it comes to that game, and hopefully I could get the Prestige 9 video up soon. So hopefully you guys have an amazing day. I gotta get ready to go to San Diego, so I wish you guys all a really good day. Peace out, y'all.